Oh, time for another drawing. Where is my... There we go, Sketch Club. I don't want to resume my recording. I want to stop my recording. Stop. Export to photo library. I think that is not what I wanted to do. Let's just... No, I don't want to resume. Stop. Cancel. Delete. Yes. I want to get a new thing. There we go. Color fill black. And I'm going to draw something. And you'll see how it works. So first of all, we're drawing a guy. This is a framed picture of some officer in the Marines, I think. The photograph is quite old. And I haven't hung it on the wall. I just keep tripping over it. My plan is perhaps to hang it someday. But I don't know when that day will be. Take off his cowlick there, his horn on his hat. And his Dudley Do-Right chin, his Dudley Do-Right nose, his Dudley Do-Right eye, except, there we go. Looks like a cyclops, kind of. That's not what he's supposed to look like. There's a little chin strap of his hat is above his... He has a little insignia up there. That's sort of what it looks like. And there's a frame around it. A brownish frame. And behind it is a green wall. Bluish green wall. Blue, green. That color. There's a shadow. That's close enough. So there we go. And then around all of this are other objects and things. Laundry, dirty underwear, who knows what all. But you'll see as I zoom out, continue to zoom out. There's something here that's covering his part of the drawing, photograph. There's another shadow that is covering this. My house is full of stuff, and this was part of a earlier drawing that I entitled Debris Field, and that's sort of what this drawing is, as well as a debris field. And what I've done is, to make the drawing kind of interesting, I'm drawing it in a different way than I normally draw, but for the sake of an interesting movie, since I'm making a movie as well as making a drawing, I'm drawing it in a particular manner where I'm slowly zooming out. And then once it's completely zoomed out, I'll go back in and sort of fix it. The thing I'm drawing here is a really cool object. It's a steamer trunk. This was back in the day when you had servants to carry your debris with you. So you could use a 50-pound trunk to hold a 10-pound hat if you wanted, because you didn't ever have to carry it. It was always put on the train by a porter and put in the hotel room by a boy, bellhop. So you didn't ever have to do this yourself. Why can't those days happen again? Well, they are probably happening again. We just don't know it. Soon there'll just be a bunch of rich people and a bunch of us. And America will be great again because of that. If you read between the lines. So there's our man. Okay, on this side of the steamer trunk that I was just drawing, now you can see more, is an interesting steamer trunk because it's 6 inches deep by 6 inches wide by 6 feet tall. And isn't that cool? It is a steamer trunk that, as far as I can tell, it was used to maybe carry to your campground, maybe your fishing poles or something. I don't know what else it could possibly carry that would fit in those proportions. And that's what's cool, is this weird object that would never be manufactured today because, first of all, well, most of all, it's heavy. The thing I'm drawing now, this light brown thing, is the hull of a balsa wood hull of the model of a battleship. And there's a mirror that I'm drawing now, which is broken. There's a nice crack in it right there, and another crack in it right there. And did I throw it out? No, because the crack actually adds interest. If it wasn't cracked, it would be boring. I just drew this mirror, this Victorian era mirror. So there's where we started. There's my man, and there's the debris field. So let's keep on drawing. So as we move closer to me, we have other things. This is something else that I haven't quite figured out what this was, but it contained, it's like 2 dental spittoons. It's a necktie, flowered necktie that's hanging on this rack. Why do I have 2 dental spittoons? There are certain things that you are not allowed to ask because I don't have an answer for them. It's not that I'm embarrassed that I have a dental spittoon. And I've got actually many dental spittoons, but the one that I was just drawing, I don't quite understand how that one works. The thing I'm drawing now is a puppet, a marionette with strings hanging on another thing. And what's interesting about this puppet, this marionette, is there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strings. No, there's not 5 strings, there's 6 strings. And let's count them, shall we? 1 is for the head and essentially holds up the entire body. The other is for his right arm. One is for his left arm, so now we've got 3. And then one is for his left foot, and the other is for his right foot. So now we've got 5. What's the 6th one for, you ask? Well, the 6th one, I didn't know what it was for either. I had to untangle the entire thing in order to put it together. It was all tangled up, so I cut the strings off, and then I untangled the Gordian knot that existed, and then I put everything back. Put them on the right, T-shaped armature that you use to make your puppet move. And I ended up having one string left over, and I thought, well, what the hell does this do? And I pulled it, and out of the marionette's pants came this erection, this beautifully carved woody, as it were. And I thought, I laughed and laughed and laughed, and the person that was with me, watching me untangle this and put it all together, laughed and laughed and laughed, and I thought, of course, that's what's missing on all puppets. My puppet didn't have that when I was growing up. It didn't have a little boner. But the one I have here does, has a little woody. Okay, now right here, this red thing that I'm working on, this is a poster I made that I held in one of my rare political moments in my life. I was at the State House. The Capitol building in Massachusetts is called a State House. And I was protesting the bill that was going to be enacted about banning gay marriage. And this is after the Massachusetts court said it was okay, and then they wanted to take it back. And I'm not a sentimentalist. I'm not ever going to get married. Who would marry me, after all? But I didn't think it made sense to ban someone else's desire to get married. So this poster, I had 2 posters. One was red and one was blue. And I had 2 poles, and they hung down from the top. And they had pictures of a multi-tiered wedding cake. And the top of one cake had 2 men, and on the top of the other cake had 2 women. And the caption read, "Let us eat cake." And I thought that would be a great little rallying cry, but no one else seemed to like it. They liked the actual thing I made. They were laughing and saying how cool it was, and it was actually on the front page of a local newspaper, so I made the headlines with my poster. So this is a string hanging down from a corner of a Japanese flag. Oops, no. And that's hanging on the top of this is the white part of the Japanese flag. And then that is casting a shadow over here with the shadow of the strings. Come on, get lighter. Thank you. Okay, and then we have here the part of the mirror. And what's this? Oh, I see, that's part of the wall. My fingers are numb. Oh, sorry. That's my marionette. Oh, the strings of the marionette are coming down like that. His head is facing the other way. His head is articulated as well. His mouth can move, and his hands are very articulated. They can actually grasp. They're almost prehensile. There's not really a thumb, but the knuckles work. So it's a strange puppet. This is slightly more yellow. No, not that yellow. Not that bright. No, just leave it the way it was, Pierre. There we go. This is the color that I painted my walls. It's mental hospital green. Why did you paint it that color, you ask? You ought to learn by now that you should not ask me questions because the answers you may not like. This is the shadow of the steamer trunk. Oh, I know what that is. Go back where I started from. This is a clipboard here. And then you see the shadow of the steamer trunk again hitting the clipboard. I don't know if you can hear my cat grooming himself in the distance there. No, move this out of the way. Thank you. Well, there it is. There's my drawing. The man in the... I'll go back to him and fix him. See if I can make his nose look more nose-like. In my collection of portraits that are framed in my house, there's one that I have that is actually quite interesting. It's a man wearing a pair of pince-nez glasses, and one of the eyes, the reflections in the pince-nez is completely white, like the window was, the drapes were pulled back and the window. I'm making him look like he's a skeleton. He's dead now anyway, I'm sure, so maybe I'm more accurate in my rendition. Anyway, someone had chose to draw this guy, and they ended up sort of leaving one eye out, and I kind of liked that. It looked almost like, well, I can't draw eyes very well, so I'm gonna leave one of them white. just interesting what people do to make their life easier. Okay, his hat is bigger than that, Mr. Gustafson. There we go. That's better. How's that? Let me fix this. Well, there you go. Oh, no, not done yet. I still think I need more color. It's like where's a yellow? I need to find something in this thing that's kind of a yellow color. Seems like I'm missing that. Is there anything here that's slightly yellow? Not really. I'm going to use artistic license and make this a little yellow. Well, I think that's about it. Let us eat cake. Okay, the sign here is white window shade material that has you can see the E of, I don't know what word that is supposed to be. Looks like an E. Must be the word eat. Let us eat cake. Seems so long ago that the debate about gay marriage was in the news. Now we've gone beyond that, I hope. I know there's some people that will still think that gay people should be slaughtered. Well, they can think whatever they want. There we go. Perfect. I'm done now. How do I stop it? To go here. Come on. No.